Happy Friday. Welcome to 5 on Fridays. I'm your dietitian, Ashley Harris, and I'm here to talk about blood sugar management. April is Diabetes Month, and we just wanted to give 2 easy strategies to help manage our blood sugar better through lifestyle. And diabetes gets its whole own month because this is a really prevalent problem, right? A lot of people have diabetes, which can lead to further complications down the road. A lot of people actually are pre-diabetic, which is great because that means we are in this opportunity to turn things around before you get a diabetes diagnosis. So just kind of wanted to highlight what are some easier things. And like I said, things that we can do with lifestyle. But the 2 pieces I want to talk about today, one is diet related and one is actually movement related. When it comes to diabetes, we are looking at the sugar in our blood, and it becomes problematic when the sugar is too high in our blood. Where the sugars come from is a carbohydrate food. So basically, I explain a carbohydrate as anything that after we eat it, it turns to sugar in our blood. And we could get into how many carbohydrates should we eat and the type. I think that could be a whole longer discussion for another day. However, where I think people don't realize is that if we pair those carbohydrate foods with a healthy protein, that can significantly blunt that blood sugar rise after we eat that food. And the reason is protein, it sits in our belly a little longer. It's why it helps us stay full longer. But what happens is when we pair that protein, ideally with a complex carbohydrate, but really anytime we're eating a carbohydrate food, and what that does is rather than our sugars going up and coming down, it slowly doles them out so we get a nice gradual rise in our sugars, giving us a nice gradual rise in our energy. It doesn't spike, and when it spikes, that's where it's problematic because then it causes our pancreas to produce insulin, which pulls that sugar into our cells, and then that can get tired over time. So we want to avoid those spikes so that protein has us going gradually. We get that rise in our energy. We're not spiking and we're not crashing. And so when I talk about protein foods, I think people think meat, absolutely meat, fish, chicken. Yes, those are heavy hitter proteins, but protein can come in other forms. Cottage cheese and Greek yogurt are 2 dairy products that the way that they're produced, both of those are high in protein. Cheese actually can be a protein too. And I'm not talking a block of cheese. I'm talking, an ounce, which is like a string cheese or a couple cubes that can offer a nice complement. So say you're doing some fruit or some crackers, add a little cheese. Tofu or edamame, those are 2 plant-based products that are also complete proteins and really rich in protein. And then other things. So eggs, hard-boiled eggs, you can even bring for a snack, or some other plant foods. So nuts, seeds, nut butters, beans, hummus, all of these can make great additions. So my first tip is each time that you eat, each meal, each snack, make sure you include a healthy protein. My other tip, and this is switching gears, this is looking at movement. And this is looking at strategically timed movement. So specifically, if we can move after we eat for up to 15 minutes, what that does is it helps us burn through that sugar that's in our blood and not have as much those spikes. So there was a really interesting study that I like to reference, and it looked at people with diabetes, and they started a 45-minute walking intervention. And what they were looking at was their HbA1c, which is kind of a 3-month average of our blood glucose. And as expected, the people who started walking 45 minutes a day, their HbA1c got better. But interestingly enough, there was a third arm of the study, and they did not walk 45 minutes at a time. They walked 15 minutes after each meal, and they actually had the best resolution in their blood sugar. So if you're looking to manage your blood sugars, and especially if you've had a real carb heavy meal or a larger meal, but really every opportunity that after you eat, if you can get out and move, walking is great. Up to 15 minutes is great, but it doesn't mean if you get 5 in there, you're not going to get some benefit. The other thing is it doesn't have to be walking, right? You could turn on a song and dance. Just do some stretching, some movement, some jumping jacks, if you're at home cleaning the house or anything that you can be active so we're burning up that blood sugar as close to after you eat as possible. And then if you could move up to 15 minutes. So those are my 2 tips. However, I am happy to chat more about blood sugar management, whether we have diabetes or not. Keeping our blood sugar managed has so many benefits for our health. It helps our metabolism function more efficiently. It keeps our mood and our energy more stable. So I think everyone can benefit hopefully from these 2 tips. And should people though want more information or want to work directly with me, I am available to city employees. So at no charge, just give me an email. You can reach me at nutritionist at columbus.gov, and I can set you up with our platform to get scheduled with the dietitian. And then we have other great things that you can sign up for through there, including doing, some of our body composition indexing or some workouts at Front Street Fitness. So, yep, I hope I will keep it short and sweet today. I hope you all have a lovely Friday, and I'll see you next time on 5 on Fridays. Thanks so much.